Part 26. 9 Generations of Villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 251. Accompanied by 2 loud laughs. 2 old men, one tall and one short, suddenly appeared in the air. The ancestor of Wandao demon sect and the second ancestor. Seeing this, the eyes of the 7-star sword ancestor condensed. The Wandao demon sect is different from other sects. Other sects have only one ancestor, while the Wandao demon sect has 3. Among them, the Wandao demon ancestor and the second ancestor are both in the Nirvana realm, and the third ancestor Chen Sheng was originally in the creation realm. With the help of the Zhang family, he broke through to the divine ability realm. At this moment, 2 Nirvana realm demons came at once, and the situation changed again. The Buddha ancestor and the 7-star sword ancestor looked at each other, both with a solemn face. The 2 knew very well. If they really fought, even if the 7-star sword ancestor was super powerful, he would not be sure of winning. But if they retreated at this point, it would be a bit embarrassing. Moreover, if they left, the Hanjing city would be attacked by 10,000 ghosts. As the ancestor of the righteous way, they could not sit idly by. Since that's the case, let's fight. Ki Yao sword ancestor stood with his sword on his back. But, if I don't go to hell, who will? Buddha patriarch clasped his hands together. Soon, 5 ceiling-level figures in the central region immediately fought in a group. The aftermath generated by it shook 100 miles. In an instant, the originally magnificent Hanjing city was destroyed by the aftermath and turned into ruins. Watching all this, Meng Hong went crazy again. He has been in charge of Hanjing city for hundreds of years. But since Zhang Chen came, all kinds of tough characters have come one after another. In the end, destroyed his Hanjing city. The sky is unfair, Meng Hong cried loudly. On the other side, Juyan Patriarch and Fan Tong walked out of the city lord's mansion. The 2 looked at the people fighting in the distance and the mess around them, and smiled at each other. Another city has experienced pain. Senior, where are we going now? Fan Tong asked. Where is Zhang Chen? Asked Juyan Patriarch. Zhang Chen is still in a remote post station, and it seems that he has no plans to enter the Xianbing secret realm. Well, now that the city is surrounded by thousands of ghosts, Zhang Chen has only one way to go, which is to enter the Xianbing secret realm. Let's go to the ghost-rich soul abyss first. Oh? Why? For the Zhuyuan soul embryo. Now that the thousands of ghosts have left the abyss, it is the best time for us to go to the ghost-rich soul abyss and rob the Zhuyuan soul embryo. So that's how it is, Senior is wise. He. After a faint smile, Juyan Patriarch stroked his beard and waved his hand, indicating that it was all basic operations. Senior, are you going to leave the female ghost alone? And Nangong Juxi, this person has entered the Xianbing secret realm, what if it triggers the 9 life retracing? Fan Tong still has questions. Sui has no ill will towards Zhang Chen, she is just a lovelorn ghost, don't bother with her. As for Nangong Juxi, glancing at the Xianbing secret realm, Juyan Patriarch guessed, she should not trigger the 9 life rewind. Why? Fan Tong was puzzled. According to my analysis, there should be 3 conditions for people who can trigger the 9 life rewind. Juyan Patriarch recalled carefully and talked freely. First, you need to have a close relationship with Lin Feng in the previous 9 lives, and he is an important person. Second, to a certain extent, you are influenced and confused by fate. Third, in this life, you will have a certain degree of rejection and disgust towards Zhang Chen. If I guess correctly, you need to meet these 3 conditions at the same time to trigger the 9 life rewind. These are all experiences at the cost of life and soul power. After hearing this analysis and thinking about it for a while, Fan Tong nodded repeatedly. Zhang Lianyu, Lin Mubai, Qingning, Xiao Hong'ai, Mu Kuei and Xuanhuan fell into the 9-life rewind because they met these 3 conditions at the same time. Sui and Nangong Juxi, whether in this life or the previous 9 lives, have nothing to do with these conditions. In this way, it is indeed impossible to fall into the 9-life replay. The fact that Sui has not fallen into the 9-life replay so far is the most direct proof. This made Fan Tong sigh. He thought there would be new plots to show others. Fan Tong had no idea about Sui. After all, in the 9-life replay, Sui didn't have much plot. She just chased Zhang Chen everywhere and finally died in the hands of Julian Patriarch. But Nangong Juxi is different. This is a woman who is willing to give everything for Zhang Chen. Whether it is Fan Tong or other cultivators who have watched the 9-life replay, they all hope that Nangong Juxi will have a good ending in this life. Senior, do you think Zhang Chen will meet her? Fan Tong asked. Probably not. After a moment of silence, Julian Patriarch nodded. Fan Tong thought so too. Nangong Juxi is the only person Zhang Chen saved in his 9 reincarnations. Zhang Chen doesn't owe anyone anything except her. This life. Whether Zhang Chen is playing badly or wants to be a villain, he will never let her fall into danger again. Ah! Julian Patriarch and Fan Tong sighed. A remote post station in Hanjing City. If Xiao Hong'ai and Chen Sheng hadn't joined forces to resist the battle between the many big guys, the aftermath would have destroyed the post station long ago. Every time he made a move, Chen Sheng would look at the battle site and sigh heavily. If you want to help, then go. Xiao Hong'ai couldn't bear it anymore and reminded softly. Hearing this, Chen Sheng shook his head. Since he became Zhang Chen's protector, he cut off his connection with the Wandao demon sect. It's not that he is heartless, but he knows it very well. The Zhang family is in a worrying situation. The dynasty may take action at any time. If he continues to contact the Wandao demon sect, the Wandao demon sect may be implicated. Is the young master still not well? The aftermath of the battle between many Nirvana realm masters, you and I can't resist for too long even if we join forces. Chen Sheng changed the subject. Xiao Hong'ai shook her head. This is the critical moment for Xuanhuan to wake up and condense her ghost body. Zhang Chen is using ghost magic to suppress the upper 4 realms of ghosts in the ghost control tower for Xuanhuan to devour. Xiao Hong'ai roughly estimated. If those upper 4 realms of ghosts are really devoured, Xuanhuan can not only condense her ghost body, but her cultivation should also be greatly improved. She just doesn't understand. How could Xuanhuan become a ghost fox? This madness is too exaggerated. If it is so, it's fine. Now wherever Zhang Chen goes, people go crazy. This also makes her vaguely feel that something seems to be wrong. However, she is too lazy to think deeply about these things. Her goal in this life is to accompany Zhang Chen and never leave him. As for the others, whether they are crazy or not, what does it have to do with her? The Xianbing secret realm is special, and it is not very useful for you and me to enter it. I suggest that after the young master enters the secret realm and escapes, we go around to the exit and wait for him. Chen Sheng said again. Xiao Hong'ai frowned. There is a natural formation in the Xianbing secret realm. The cultivation of the cultivators who enter it will be suppressed to the Yuandan realm. It is indeed as Chen Sheng said. With their cultivation suppressed, they can only do so much when they enter. But Xiao Hong'ai is unwilling to separate from Zhang Chen. Although you are in the supernatural realm, you are still too weak in front of the Nirvana monster. I can't go any further, but you are the innate phoenix body. Take this opportunity to improve your cultivation, Chen Sheng said again. This remark hit Xiao Hong'ai's soft spot. Without sufficient strength, she can't protect Zhang Chen, let alone accompany him. She has 9 lifetime memories. Knowing many places can help her improve her cultivation, and it doesn't take too much time. Okay. Finally, Xiao Hong'ai nodded in agreement. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Tuo. Chapter 252. Inside the post station, there is a tower that is 100 feet high. This tower is the Ghost Control Tower. After the Ghost Control Patriarch died, Zhang Chen bound his own blood and essence to the Ghost Control Tower. The Ghost Control Tower is a divine spiritual weapon. With his cultivation, he cannot fully control it. At present, he can only control its size at will. There are 9 floors in the tower. Xuanhuan was staring at several ghosts in a daze, and Zhang Chen stood on its right side. At this time, it has been more than half a day since Xuanhuan woke up. It still can't understand why it not only didn't die, but also condensed a ghost body. Zhang Chen didn't mean to explain these, but just said, now you don't have to worry about your life for the time being, but you still have to continue to increase your cultivation and ghost energy to continue to extend your life. So I won't die? I can accompany you. Xuanhuan was overjoyed. Zhang Chen smiled helplessly. Who would have thought? In the previous 9 lives, he tried his best to help Xuanhuan escape his fate. But in this life, without him doing anything, Xuanhuan turned into a ghost fox, cutting off the so-called red thread of destiny. Why did you become like this? Zhang Chen asked, puzzled. Xuanhuan was speechless for a moment. The truth could not be told. After all, if it was told, Zhang Chen in this life would be affected. Just think I'm crazy. Finally, Xuanhuan lied. It was just a casual remark, and Zhang Chen didn't believe it. But who would have thought? Zhang Chen nodded, thinking it was very reasonable. Indeed, only madness can explain your crazy behavior. Zhang Chen sighed. Obviously. When a person sees too many madmen, he will become accustomed to them. But you can still realize that you are crazy, which is much better than some madmen, he added. This made Xuanhuan speechless. No more chatting. Zhang Chen looked at the trembling ghosts and said, you just condensed your ghost body. It will be of great benefit to you to devour these ghosts. Yes. Xuanhuan nodded, and then walked towards the ghosts. There were 4 ghosts in total, all of them were in the upper 4 realms, and they were the upper realm monks who attacked Zhang Chen not long ago. In the ghost control tower, and suppressed by Zhang Chen's ghost magic, these ghosts all had dull eyes and had no ability to resist. Coming in front of one of the ghosts, Xuanhuan's body began to form. In just an instant, it grew to the size of an adult. It growled. The ghostly aura was permeated on the dark blue fur, and the pair of fox eyes were alternately red and vicious. It had heard Zhang Chen say that it knew that the ghosts in front of it were all attackers. And it had already decided. If in this life, if it could stay with Zhang Chen, then even if it became a ghost fox or a demon fox, it would protect Zhang Chen. As long as it is still alive, no one can bully Zhang Chen anymore. When Xuanhuan thought of the ghost in front of him who wanted Zhang Chen's life, the hostility in his eyes became stronger. Without any hesitation, it first used its 2 fox claws to penetrate the ghost's body, and then tore it apart and swallowed it one bite after another. After swallowing a ghost, it turned its head and looked at another ghost. Perhaps it was because of fear, or perhaps it was because it sensed the crisis. The ghost woke up from its sluggish state and said with horror, "You, don't come over." Xuanhuan had no intention of replying, and bit off its head in one bite. Seeing this, the remaining ghosts also woke up and rushed to escape. Xuanhuan did not chase immediately, but with a cruel smile on his lips, like a cat catching a mouse, enjoying the pleasure of chasing and killing. Soon, all 4 ghosts were swallowed by it. The body returned to its original state, and Xuanhuan licked his front paws, with a look of satisfaction on his face. It looked back at Zhang Chen, blinked, and seemed to ask, "Are there any more?" This scene made Zhang Chen shake his head repeatedly. Although the Zhuyuan ghost fox was born by devouring souls, such playful behavior is enough to prove it. Xuanhuan is crazy, No doubt. No more. Next time, seeing Xuanhuan still looking at him, Zhang Chen spread his hands. Xuanhuan nodded and retracted his gaze. It reminded itself secretly, I am a mature ghost fox, I need to learn to find food by myself. Suddenly, a feeling of sleepiness came over it. Zhang Chen, I'm sleepy, Xuanhuan said. Zhang Chen stepped forward and held it in his arms, stroking its fur and said, you just devoured several upper four realm ghosts, you need to sleep to digest and refine them into ghost energy. But I dare not sleep, I'm worried that I won't see you when I wake up. Xuanhuan shook her head. It's okay, Zhang Chen smiled indulgently, you are in the ghost control tower, and the ghost control tower is bound to my blood essence. As long as you wake up, I will notice it at the first time. By the way, you have to leave quickly. Xuanhuan forced herself to be alert and reminded, the female ghost of Ghost Ridge Soul Abyss is looking for you everywhere. What? Zhang Chen was shocked. Although he was in the ghost control tower, he also noticed the movement outside the Hanjing city. I thought the female ghost was looking for Xuanhuan, but who knew she was looking for him? But this is unreasonable. Logically speaking, he and the female ghost have never met in this life, so how could the latter come with thousands of ghosts? I accidentally let it slip when I was sleeping. Xuanhuan's ears drooped and she said softly, I'm sorry. Hey. Zhang Chen sighed. This matter is really not to blame Xuanhuan, after all, he knows very well that Xuanhuan does have the habit of talking in sleep. In his opinion, Xuanhuan came to find him in this life, probably because she heard Chen Sheng bragging about how awesome his young master is. And now the female ghost learned about her from Xuanhuan. So she led thousands of ghosts to kidnap people. If you trace the root of all this, it is definitely Chen Sheng's fault. Well, the system is also to blame. Don't worry, I will escape into the Xianbing secret realm later, and the female ghost can't catch up with me, Zhang Chen comforted. Xuanhuan was relieved now, curled up, and finally closed his eyes. Zhang Chen just held it quietly, thinking secretly. Xuanhuan Ghost Fox is special, belonging to both ghosts and monsters. The unique realms of ghosts and monsters cannot measure the strength of Xuanhuan. The most accurate way is to judge by the number of fox tails. Xuanhuan now has 4 tails, and his strength is comparable to that of a cultivator who has just entered the upper 4th realm. Zhang Chen estimated. After swallowing several ghosts of the upper 4 realms at once, Xuanhuan should need to sleep for a long time. And I believe that the next time Xuanhuan wakes up, his strength should rise to another level, and it is not impossible to grow a 5th tail. A 5-tailed ghost fox is comparable to a cultivator in the supernatural realm. If 6 tails are born, it can transform into a human. Realizing that Xuanhuan has fallen asleep, Zhang Chen carefully put it down and prepared to leave. But he had only taken a few steps when he heard Xuanhuan talking in his sleep again. Zhang Chen, will you marry me after I transform? Hearing this, Zhang Chen was stunned. In the end, just like the previous 9 lives, he still did not give a direct answer, but just left with a sigh. The previous 9 lives were because he did not know the ending. This life is because he already has an ending. Death, ascension, and then leaving. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 253. After leaving, Zhang Chen put away the ghost control tower and found Xuanhuan and Chen Sheng outside the post station. The battle between many Nirvana realm masters was exhausting for even 2 people. Zhang Chen glanced at Hanjing City and was shocked. At this moment, Hanjing City can only be described as riddled with holes. Looking around, there were ruins and rampant ghosts. Many cultivators rushed to the Xianbing secret realm like crazy in order to survive, but the soldiers of Hanjing City were fighting with ghosts. In the distance, Jiang Chen saw a middle-aged city general. The middle-aged city general and hundreds of soldiers were fearless and resisted the attack of thousands of ghosts. They held various spiritual weapons and their armor was covered in blood. Although they were brave and good at fighting, they were helpless because there were too many ghosts and swallowed them one by one like a wave. Jiang Chen saw it with his own eyes. A soldier was bitten by several ghosts. Although he was dying, he still broke into the ghost group alone and dragged many ghosts with him by self-destruction. He also saw it with his own eyes. He saw that the middle-aged city general's abdomen was pierced by a ghost claw. Although blood was dripping. Although the pain was unbearable. But the middle-aged city general still turned back and shouted at him, "Jiang Chen, these ghosts are looking for you. You should quickly enter the secret realm to hide. There is a natural formation in the secret realm, and ghosts are not allowed to enter." Seeing these scenes, Jiang Chen frowned. Where are the righteous sects? Where are the righteous geniuses? Why are only the soldiers resisting the ghosts? He asked Xuanhuan and Chen Sheng. The secret realm is opened, and all the cultivators swarmed in. Now there are only soldiers and thousands of crazy cultivators left in the cold realm city. Xuanhuan replied. That female ghost has said that the ghosts attacked the city not to kill people, but to find you. Chen Sheng was puzzled. Young master, when did you get involved with that female ghost? Old Chen, this is your fault, Jiang Chen said after a long silence. Chen Sheng was immediately confused. What does this have to do with him? Jiang Chen has always respected Chen Sheng. Although he thought it was Chen Sheng's fault, he did not mean to blame him, and he just said it casually. Now that things have come to this, it is meaningless to continue to entangle these. What should be considered now is what to do. Jiang Chen frowned and thought. Logically speaking, as a villain, he should not care about the lives of others and escape into the Xianbing secret realm. But the problem is, if he really left like this, wouldn't he owe favors to the city guards and many crazy monks? After all, at this moment, these people are fighting against the ghosts with their lives, so as to buy him time to escape. Jiang Chen was speechless. Because he knew very well that even if no one helped him buy time, he could still enter the secret realm smoothly with all the trump cards in his hand and the cover of Xuanhuan and Chen Sheng. I, Jiang Chen, never owe anyone. Finally, he made a decision. With a clang, the flame blood dragon sword appeared. He stepped on the blood sword and flew in the air. When he arrived above the Hanjing city, he used his cultivation again and shouted loudly, "Jiang Chen is here." In an instant, the voice rolled away and resounded around. Hearing the sound, all the ghosts paused and cast their eyes to investigate at the same time. The soldiers and monks were also stunned, and then they didn't know what they remembered, and they beat their chests and cried. The one with the biggest reaction was Sui. Following the sound, she saw Jiang Chen's face clearly. Then, it was as if she saw a rare treasure, and her eyes were shining. Handsome. It's so handsome. Such a responsible and ridiculously handsome man is worthy of her leading thousands of ghosts here. My husband, I am polite, licking her red lips. Sui saluted Jiang Chen. There are too many bad guys outside. My husband, please follow me back to Ghost Ridge and Soul Abyss. Your sister, Jiang Chen blurted out. Sui, you crazy ghost girl. Sooner or later, I will turn my hand and suppress you. You will regret it. He. Sui laughed instead of getting angry, and said in a charming voice, my husband wants to suppress me, why do you need to do it in the future? As long as you go back with me, I am willing to be suppressed by you. While speaking, she also threw a coquettish eye at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen was so angry. This ghost is really shameless. He actually drove in public. He made him, a great villain, speechless. Humph. Jiang Chen ran directly to the Xianbing secret realm without arguing with Sui. Seeing this, Sui wanted to chase, but was blocked by the 7 light sword ancestor. You are the righteous, but you also want to stop me from finding Zhang Chen. Sui's smile faded, and her face was unfriendly. I said, you have crossed the line. The 7 light sword ancestor swung his sword and slashed. Zhang Chen's life or death has nothing to do with me, but you led thousands of ghosts to attack the city, which regards my righteousness as nothing. That's right, the Buddha patriarch added. 10,000 ghosts came out of the abyss, and all living beings were in turmoil. Killing you is another merit. It's a high-sounding statement, but to put it bluntly, isn't it for yourself? Sui disdainful. Unable to go to find Zhang Chen herself, she had to communicate with and command the ghosts with her spiritual consciousness. Don't worry about others. Everything, first of all, catch Zhang Chen. Don't hurt him. After receiving the order, the ghosts quickly gathered and chased Zhang Chen with their fangs and claws. This scene was inside. Xiao Hong'ai, Chen Sheng, and many soldiers and monks wanted to help. But then again, Zhang Chen, who was still running away a second ago, suddenly stopped and turned around with a miniature version of the ghost control tower in his hand. Go. After grinning, Zhang Chen threw the ghost control tower towards the ghosts that were chasing him. In an instant, the ghost control tower grew larger while spinning, and the tower body vibrated violently. When the vibrations reached their ears, all the ghosts looked dazed and their bodies slowed down. When they came to their senses, they found that the suspended ghost control tower was emitting a suction force that they could hardly resist. Under such suction, the ghosts with lower cultivation were sucked into the tower in an instant. The ghosts with higher cultivation could still resist a little, but they found that Zhang Chen was filled with ghost energy. Under the control of ghost energy, the suction of the ghost control tower became significantly stronger. It only took a moment. Thousands of ghosts were all sucked into the ghost control tower, which shocked the rest of the ghosts. The ghosts knew very well that they had been dealing with the ghost control sect for many years. All the ghosts sucked into the ghost control tower would be suppressed by it and could not escape. Ghost control tower? Ghost control magic strategy. Sui, who was far away, was also horrified when she saw this. She didn't understand it at all. Isn't Zhang Chen a member of Juyan sect? How could he know ghost magic? And even control the ghost control tower? Haha. Sui. Today I will punish you with a small punishment and give you a big warning. I will first take thousands of ghosts from you. Sooner or later, I will also suppress you in the ghost control tower. Zhang Chen laughed wildly. While everyone and the ghosts were stunned, he flew away with a very fast speed and rushed into the gate of the secret realm in the blink of an eye. After coming to their senses, the ghosts all blinked blankly. Sui was so angry that she gritted her teeth and stamped her feet. But soon, she was relieved and smiled. My husband, those ghosts will be my dowry. Since you have taken them, I will definitely find you, she shouted in the direction of the secret realm. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 254. In the Xianbing secret realm, above the jade steps of the ancient road, Zhang Chen was shocked when he heard Sui's cry. He felt, this female ghost is a bit sick. She actually called his spoils of war a dowry. Not wanting to waste time on Sui, Zhang Chen flew on his sword, walked along the jade steps of the ancient road, and finally entered the secret realm. What came into his eyes was a white world. The heavy snow fell from the sky, and the ground was covered with ice fields, stretching for hundreds of miles. Zhang Chen raised his hand and caught a snowflake. I saw that the crystal-clear snowflakes were like veins flashing, which looked extremely strange. Occasionally, the cold wind came from afar. Although the monks did not avoid the cold and heat, they could still feel a chill deep in their bones when they were in the cold wind, and they could not help shivering. Zhang Chen looked into the distance. At the end of the ice field, there was a glacier that was dormant like a dragon, winding and stretching. The glacier seemed to have life. Whenever the cold wind blew, it would emit a dazzling green light, which was extremely strange. Zhang Chen just stood there, his eyes were dazed. He had come here many times in his 9 reincarnations. In this life, he thought he would never come again, but he didn't expect to still be here. Suddenly, Zhang Chen thought of Zhang Lianyu. When the Xianbing secret realm was just opened, he let Zhang Hu and Zhang Lianyu enter the secret realm first. The reason for this was that he knew very well Zhang Lianyu was really about to die. She practiced the Ice Lotus Ash Dome Classic, which was comparable to the best martial arts. Every time this martial art was cultivated, the cold poison produced would increase by 1. In order to resist this cold poison, she had to take the fire turbidity pill. But the ice and fire contained in her body destined her to be at risk of exploding if she cultivated to the Tianyuan realm. Now Zhang Lianyu is not only in the Tianyuan realm, but also in the middle stage of Tianyuan. Don't think that she is like a 1,000-year-old glacier melting in front of Zhang Chen, and she always smiles like a flower. But in fact, Zhang Chen knows it very well. Now every moment, she is enduring the pain of cold poison entering her body and fire poison burning her body. In this life, Zhang Lianyu has changed. After going crazy, she became careful, cautious, and obedient in front of Zhang Chen. But she has not changed. Because even if she is crazy, she still retains the pride in her bones. Even if she suffers from ice and fire, she has never been timid, never shown, and seek help from others. And Zhang Chen's feelings for her are very complicated. 9 reincarnations. Zhang Lianyu is an important heroine who completely turns to Lin Feng. She was once called the guardian of the Sun of Destiny. The previous 9 lives. She spoke ill of Zhang Chen many times, and despised and accused him many times. Compared with Qingning, Xiao Hong'ai and other heroines, Zhang Chen has a lot of resentment towards her, and has a lot of disgust. But Zhang Chen is also very clear. Zhang Lianyu is not bad. She also hoped to have an upright senior brother. At the beginning, when Zhang Chen was punished, she also helped Zhang Chen to plead. But over time, under various coincidences and misunderstandings, she was influenced by this heaven and thought that her senior brother was hopeless. Thinking of this, Zhang Chen shook his head. 9 lives of suffering, it is not easy to forget. 9 lives of resentment, 9 lives of misunderstanding, it is not a few words to erase. Even if he understands everything and knows that the culprit of all this is this heaven, he can't turn back into the upright senior brother. He lived for others for 9 lives. In this life, he just wants to live for himself and wait for ascension. Senior brother. A shout suddenly appeared. Zhang Chen looked in the direction of the sound and shook his head again. The people who came were Zhang Lianyu and Zhang Hu. It had been a long time since the opening of the Xianbing secret realm, and the appearance of the two proved that they were waiting for their eldest senior brother to arrive. They probably knew that Wang Gui had entered the city and were worried that he would really be kidnapped by Sui. Eldest senior brother, it's a good thing you're here. 5th senior sister was just about to leave the secret realm to find you. Zhang Hu breathed a sigh of relief. Zhang Chen was silent. The opening of the Xianbing secret realm has a time limit. In a few minutes, the archway of the secret realm will be closed, and the next opening will be 100 years later. This matter is well known, and Zhang Lianyu naturally knows it. Since she knows it, she should understand it. The natural treasures in the Xianbing secret realm are the only straw that can cure her cold poison and save her life. But she put Zhang Chen's safety above her own life. She wanted to abandon her own safety and leave the secret realm. After a long silence, Zhang Chen didn't know what to say, so he just said, 5th junior sister, your madness has worsened. Hearing this, If you can only stay with senior brother if you are crazy, then Lianyu is crazy, and she is hopelessly crazy. Zhang Lianyu smiled foolishly and stepped forward to hold Zhang Chen's arm. This made Zhang Chen shake his head helplessly. He just couldn't understand. It's okay that the system gave him a poisonous buff, but why did every crazy person's favorability towards him increase sharply? Is it because crazy people become bad, so they like him as a villain very much? After thinking about it, only this explanation is quite reasonable. Now the plot has completely collapsed, and it is the kind of outrageous. At this time, Zhang Chen no longer expects to ascend according to the plot in the original work, and has made preparations for the worst. Big deal. At the end, he ran into Lin Feng's blade himself. Anyway, the task given by the system is to die in Lin Feng's hands, and there is no detailed regulation on how to die. No more thinking about these. Let's go. This Xianbing secret realm is very large. With the speed of a Yuandan realm cultivator, it will take at least several months to reach the exit. Zhang Chen waved his hand and took Zhang Lianyu to start. Zhang Hu hurriedly followed. On the vast ice field, the three walked slowly. After walking for several miles, suddenly, Zhang Lianyu felt a pain in her heart, and she was dizzy in an instant. Her fair cheeks were as pale as paper. She stumbled and almost fell. The ground is a bit slippery, senior brother, you should be careful too. Zhang Lianyu forced a smile. Fifth senior sister. Zhang Hu saw something and hesitated to speak. It's indeed a bit slippery. Zhang Chen nodded. Just when Zhang Lianyu breathed a sigh of relief, Zhang Hu considered whether to tell Zhang Chen that Zhang Lianyu was not feeling well. There was a sound of clang. The flame blood dragon sword was summoned by Zhang Chen and floated in the air. He tapped the ground with his toes and jumped on the sword, then stretched out a hand to Zhang Lianyu. Fifth junior sister, I'm tired, follow me on the sword. Zhang Lianyu was stunned. This was the first time she really felt Zhang Chen's care. With tears in her eyes, she stretched out her hand forward. But she retracted it again. Indeed, Zhang Chen's care really made her very happy, but it also made her feel more guilty. She knew herself. She knew that she was not as good as Xuanhuan and others, and that she was the one with the most serious sins. Therefore, she was not qualified to be happy, let alone happy. Big brother, Lianyu is not tired. Flying a man's sword consumes a lot of spiritual energy. You are in front and I will follow you. I'm fine. Zhang Lianyu tried to smile to stop the tears that might burst out at any time. She didn't finish her words. The hand that was about to be withdrawn was grabbed by Zhang Chen. The next second, she was dragged to the sword. Stop talking nonsense. If you don't come up, who will massage my shoulders and back? Zhang Chen asked fiercely. After a short period of confusion, Zhang Lianyu smiled. Brother, can Lianyu massage your shoulders and back for a lifetime? She asked. It depends on your performance, Zhang Chen replied. He. Very soon, Zhang Chen took Zhang Lianyu and flew away at a very fast speed. Zhang Hu was below, running as hard as he could. And not long after they left. Boom. The world shook, and the archway at the entrance of the secret realm gradually closed in the vibration. And just before it was completely closed, thousands of crazy monks suddenly poured in. All these monks had watched the 9 life retracing and knew the Xianbing secret realm very well. They not only knew that there were natural treasures there, but also knew. If Lin Feng also entered the secret realm, where would he go? 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 255. Flying the sword for more than 10 miles. Zhang Chen and others arrived at a lake filled with cold air and surrounded by many cultivators. There was a small island in the lake. The island seemed to be unaffected by the cold air of heaven and earth. It was lush and green inside, and many spiritual fruits and rabbits could be seen playing. The most conspicuous thing was the huge crystal stone in the center of the island, which was crystal clear on the outside and had red flames jumping inside. Anyone with a discerning eye could see it at a glance. It was precisely because of the existence of the crystal stone that the island could appear so full of vitality in this secret realm of cold winter. And the flame in the crystal stone must be an innate spiritual fire of the 6th grade or above. Such a flame is very valuable. Whether it is sold or exchanged at Danggu Tower, it can get a lot of rewards. Although the cultivators were tempted. But the strange thing was that looking at the quiet lake, no one was willing to cross the river to go there. And Zhang Chen's arrival immediately attracted the attention of many cultivators. These cultivators are all normal people. They are the prodigies from various sects before the opening of the Xianbing secret realm. One of them is called Jianlu, the 6th swordsman of the Qiyao Sword Pavilion, and is also ranked 6th on the Tianjiao list. This made Jianlu very unhappy. It's okay to have Lu in his name, but how come his status and ranking are all related to 6? People who don't know would think that he has a problem with 6. Seeing Zhang Chen jump off the sword, he came with an evil smile. A Tianjiao came to Sushan's ear and asked, "This person is so young, but he has already achieved great success in the sword. Could it be your senior brother of the sword pavilion, Sushan?" "No." Jianlu shook his head decisively, his face a little solemn. As a swordsman of the Qiyao Sword Pavilion, he naturally recognized Sushan. "I thought. Among the contemporary Tianjiao, only Sushan has achieved great success in the sword, but I didn't expect there is another person. The point is, this person has a rebellious face and walks very arrogantly. You can tell at a glance that he is not a good person. Strange, there seems to be no good swordsman among the demons of this generation." Jianlu murmured. Just when he was puzzled, a monk with a faint smile came and said, "Brother Jian, this person is the elder brother of Zhufeng of Juyan demon sect, Zhang Chen." "Zhang Chen? He is Zhang Chen," Jianlu was shocked. He only knew that Zhang Chen was notorious, but he didn't know that Zhang Chen had such a high level of swordsmanship. "Brother Jian, be careful, this Zhang Chen not only stole the Buddhist Dharma of my Buddha temple, but also knows magic. Wherever he goes, he will go crazy," the monk reminded again. Hiss. Hearing this, Jianlu took a breath of cold air. The monk who came, the Dharma named Safa, is the 3rd Buddhist son of Buddha temple, and is also on the list of the prodigies. Since Juyan sect became a demon sect, Qiyao Sword Pavilion and Buddha temple have been together, like allies. Therefore, Jianlu believed Sci-fi's words without a doubt. He suddenly realized. No wonder there are so many crazy people in Hanjing City, it turns out that it's all because of Zhang Chen. Maybe the evil method of controlling people's hearts is not even in the central region Demon Dao, Jianlu said puzzledly. "Brother Jian, although there is no evil method in the central region, there is in the upper region. Zhang Chen is the only son of the Zhang family. With the strength of the Zhang family, it is easy to make some evil methods to confuse people for him," Sci-fi explained solemnly. That makes sense, Jianlu nodded continuously and quickly retracted his gaze. Although Zhang Chen's swordsmanship is great and he is also a Tianyuan cultivator, he is not afraid. Because Zhang Chen is not on the Tianjiao list, he should be just a flower stand. But the evil method that can drive people crazy is really scary. When the other cultivators heard this, they also retracted their gazes, and the timid ones even ran away directly. This made Zhang Chen look bored. Sure enough, as a villain, he still has to find trouble himself. With Zhang Lianyu, he approached a Tianjiao standing by the lake. "Brother, what's your name?" he asked. Hearing this, Tianjiao was stunned for a moment. He didn't want to make a scene, so as not to be taken advantage of by Zhang Chen. After taking a deep breath, the Tianjiao smiled slightly, with a friendly attitude, bowed and said, my name is Yuan Cheng, and I am a true disciple of Xianyang Pavilion. Xianyang Pavilion is a second-rate righteous sect in the central region. Although it is second-rate, its ancestor has a good relationship with Dangyuda and is blessed by Dangyuda, so its strength far exceeds that of other second-rate sects. What is your ranking on the Tianjiao list? Zhang Chen asked again. Talking about the Tianjiao list, Yuan Chen was immediately refreshed. He coughed lightly, his face full of pride, and said, I am not talented, and I am ranked 29th on the Tianjiao list. Oh, it turns out to be a Tianjiao. I'm sorry, I don't know what kind of cultivation brother Yuan has, Zhang Chen asked. Haha, just the earthly origin realm. Yuan Cheng's face was already full of smiles. I admire you. Zhang Chen sighed, and said, I am in the heavenly origin realm. Yuan Cheng's face suddenly changed. Oh, by the way, brother is so young, but he has already entered the Tianjiao list. He can be said to be a dragon among men and has the appearance of an emperor. May I ask your age? Zhang Chen said again. Haha, I am 26. Yuan Cheng smiled again. Oh, I just turned 20. Yuan Cheng was speechless. He wanted to ask at this moment. Can we chat today? He seriously doubted. Zhang Chen was slapping him in the face, not elevating and admiring him. Brother Yuan is extremely talented and admirable. Although his cultivation is not as good as mine and he is older than me, I think he should have cross-level combat power, and the spiritual weapon he uses must be extraordinary, right? Zhang Chen asked again. While speaking, he summoned the flame dragon blood sword and gestured twice, and instantly there was a dragon roar in all directions. Top-grade spiritual weapon. Immediately, a cultivator exclaimed. Yuan Cheng was already cursing in his heart. Holding a top-grade spiritual weapon, saying that other people's spiritual weapons are extraordinary. Isn't this nonsense? Seeing that Zhang Chen was still looking straight at him, Yuan Cheng had no choice but to bow and say, Brother Zhang is the dragon and phoenix among men, the posture of the emperor. I am not as good as you. Really? Zhang Chen raised his eyebrows. Of course, Yuan Chen nodded continuously. From ancient times to the present, I have never seen anyone who can control a top-grade spiritual weapon with Yuan cultivation. What's more, Brother Jiang's cultivation and talent are both above mine. After hearing this, Zhang Chen nodded, reluctantly accepting it. But the next second, his face suddenly changed, and he said angrily, if that's the case, then why are you on the Tianjiao list? And I am not on the list. After speaking, he raised his hand and kicked Yuan Cheng directly. This kick was extremely powerful and extremely fast. Before Yuan Cheng could react, he was kicked several feet away, drew an arc in the air, and fell into the lake. At the same time, the system prompt text appeared. The behavior meets the villain setting, reward, male phoenix blood *1. Haha. Zhang Chen laughed loudly, his voice was extremely arrogant. 3 drops of male phoenix blood are gathered. He can absorb the blood and turn his physique into the innate male phoenix body. At that time, his own combat power will definitely usher in a qualitative leap. On the other hand, other cultivators. Seeing Yuan Cheng falling into the water with a panic face, he kept struggling in the water. All the cultivators had gloomy faces. No one expected it. Zhang Chen, who was still smiling a second ago, actually attacked. He kicked him directly into the lake. This is to kill Yuan Cheng. Why did all the cultivators gather here and not go to the island in the lake? Aren't they worried that there are powerful monsters hidden under the lake and they are worried about being attacked when crossing the river? But surprisingly, in the constant struggle, Yuan Cheng returned to the shore smoothly and was not attacked by monsters. This made the eyes of all the cultivators brighten again. Although Zhang Chen was arrogant, he helped them explore the way and proved that there were no powerful monsters under the lake. Just when everyone was ready to move and planned to go to the island in the lake, "Brother, what's your name?" Zhang Chen approached Jianlu and asked softly. Jianlu had a vague bad premonition. "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 256. Seeing Zhang Chen staring at him with a smile, Jianlu thought to himself. He thought. Zhang Chen was not on the Tianjiao list, so he should be a show-off. But he was a master of swordsmanship after all, and he had the ability to drive people crazy, so he should not be underestimated. He glanced at Yuan Cheng, who was still struggling in the water and finally got ashore. Jianliu's mouth twitched. With the previous experience in mind, if he was also kicked into the water with all the Tianjiao gathered together, it would be a bit embarrassing. After some thought, Jianlu finally decided. Keep it steady. Haha, Jianlu said loudly, I am Jianlu, and I am lucky to be ranked 6th on the Tianjiao list. Although brother Zhang is not on the list, his strength makes me admire him very much. After he finished speaking, he smiled with satisfaction. In this way, he answered Zhang Chen's question and put his attitude extremely low, thinking that Zhang Chen could not find any fault, so he took the opportunity to make trouble. But who would have thought? Jianlu? I feel from this name that you are extraordinary in swordsmanship and your swordsmanship is very good. Your swordsmanship talent should be extremely high. May I ask, what is your specific swordsmanship? Zhang Chen asked back. This. Jianlu hesitated. As the 6th swordsman of the Qiyao Sword Pavilion, he still has confidence in his swordsmanship. But if he answered truthfully? What if Zhang Chen said, oh, I have mastered the swordsmanship, what should he do? Isn't this the same as Yuan Cheng, who was slapped in the face? But if he continued to flatter Zhang Chen, wouldn't that be indirect proof? The swordsman of the Qiyao Sword Pavilion is just like this? Even his sex sword cultivator can't compare? For a moment, Jianlu was in a dilemma. Seeing him hesitate for a while, Zhang Chen smiled and said, Brother Jian, why did you say something wrong? Did I say something wrong? In fact, your swordsmanship talent is poor, but you are just a name. Just a name? When Jianlu heard these 4 words, he was immediately furious. I, Jianlu, have been practicing swords for more than 20 years. I started to learn swords at the age of 5, entered the sword art at the age of 10, and achieved minor success in swordsmanship at the age of 16. Although I haven't achieved great success in swordsmanship yet, I am on the verge of a breakthrough. He waved his sleeves and snorted coldly. Oh, I have achieved great success in swordsmanship, Zhang Chen replied. Jianliu's face darkened instantly. I'm younger than you, Zhang Chen said again. Jianliu's face darkened again. I have only practiced swordsmanship for a few years. I got started in 1 year, achieved minor success in 2 years, and achieved great success in 3 years, Zhang Chen said again. Jianlu wanted to curse directly. The previous part was easy to say, but Zhang Chen's last words were nonsense. 3 years to achieve great success in swordsmanship? With such talent, even the 7 Yao sword ancestor did not have such talent when he was young. Will you die if you don't brag? Jianlu retorted. In response, Zhang Chen just smiled faintly. And then, zheng. The sound of the sword was deafening, and a concentrated sword intent came out of his body. The sword's will surged into the sky, and the wind and clouds surged in an instant. At the same time, a white-haired, crane-faced, lightly smiling, sword-holding old man with a height of about 10 feet appeared behind Zhang Chen. Both of them swung their swords at the same time. Ancient sword style, breaking the sky. 100 feet of sword energy suddenly appeared, with the momentum of breaking the sky, and directly slashed towards the distant glacier. The sword energy spanned 100 miles, and the swords will raged in all directions. In just a blink of an eye, the towering glacier was directly broken from the middle and cut in half. The smooth cut surface was exposed, and the white snow on it slowly collapsed. Goo! Seeing this, Xuanhuan was stunned. The onlookers were stunned. No one expected it. Without any signs, Zhang Chen suddenly made a move. Even more unexpected. Zhang Chen could actually break a mountain with one sword. And it looked effortless. Is this the ancient sword way? After coming to his senses, Xuanhuan exclaimed. Compared with other cultivators, he could feel the ancient meaning and sword intention of the sword technique more. He was shocked and terrified. Because the Qiyao sword pavilion also has an ancient sword, but no one has been able to comprehend it for thousands of years. The Qiyao sword ancestor once said, "The ancient sword art cannot be practiced without outstanding talents and genius monsters. And the cultivator who can comprehend the ancient sword art is rare in 1,000 years. He is a natural sword emperor." Hiss. Thinking of this, Xuanhuan took a breath of cold air. This Zhang Chen. His attainments in the sword art are so terrifying. And judging from this ancient sword, his words 3 years of sword art are probably not empty words. The people of the Qiyao sword pavilion are all a group of hard-working cultivators, and they are all famous sword maniacs. Xuanhuan has been practicing sword since he was a child. He once used his blood to serve the sword, and he also practiced a sword style by swinging the sword 10,000 times a day for several years. The person he admired most was the first swordsman of the sword pavilion, Xuanhuan. But now he found out. Xuanhuan? Compared to Zhang Chen's talent and aptitude in swordsmanship, Xuanhuan is nothing. If it weren't for the fact that good and evil cannot coexist, and there are so many people now. At this moment, Xuanhuan would have kneeled down to Zhang Chen. There is no way, this is really too awesome. Xuanhuan also guessed secretly the reason why Zhang Chen's name did not appear on the Tianjiao list. It is probably because Zhang Chen's strength can no longer be described by the word Tianjiao. And just as he looked at Zhang Chen, his shoulders trembling, his eyes full of admiration. Zeng. The sword energy in the distance dissipated, but the sword sound was still there, and the sword intent remained. Xuanhuan looked at the gullies on the ground, the broken mountains in the distance, and the broken clouds in the sky, and his eyes gradually dulled. Affected by the sword intent, he actually fell into enlightenment. In a trance, Xuanhuan seemed to see a white-haired old man practicing sword. The old man's figure was straight, like a sword piercing the sky. From beginning to end, the old man only had one sword move. But just this move can break the sky and split the earth, and the sword will sweep across hundreds of miles. In his eyes, heaven and earth are nothing but things that can only be killed. After an unknown amount of time, Xuanhuan finally came to his senses. His eyes opened suddenly. Boom! An Lingran aura came out of his body. Affected by this aura, the sword box behind him automatically opened, and an ancient sword broke out of the box and hung in the air with a clanking sound. Anyone with a discerning eye can see it. Xuanhuan, breakthrough. By observing Zhang Chen's sword moves, he directly broke through the bottleneck and became a master swordsman. After everything calms down, Xuanhuan couldn't hold back the excitement in his heart anymore and knelt down directly to Zhang Chen. Brother Zhang, in order to expose me, did not hesitate to expend his spiritual energy and use this shocking sword. Please accept my worship, he started kowtowing directly. At this moment, the scene was as silent as death. The geniuses all had strange expressions, and they shouldn't have said anything for a while. And Zhang Chen? Regret it? He was indeed bragging when he said that he had achieved great mastery in swordsmanship in 3 years. Looking at this life alone, this may be true. Don't forget it. This is the 10th life he has reincarnated into, the 10th life he has practiced swordsmanship in. He knew very well that although he had talent in swordsmanship, he was definitely not a swordsman monster. And that sword just now. He just wanted to show off and block other people's mouths. But he never expected it. Unexpectedly, Xuanhuan realized the way of swordsmanship from his ancient sword and achieved great success. I've heard about it a long time ago. He is extremely talented in swordsmanship and can improve his own knowledge of swordsmanship by observing other people's swordsmanship. This statement is indeed true. No wonder Xuanhuan is ranked 6th on the list of geniuses. It seems that he really has something. Thinking of the list of geniuses, Zhang Chen felt unhappy again. Then he raised his leg and kicked Xuanhuan, who was kowtowing, into the lake. Seeing this, the onlookers were stunned. Kick anyone who kowtows to you. Is there any humanity left? The behavior conforms to the villain's setting, and the host's cultivation level has been upgraded to the middle stage of Tianyuan. Ha. A wave of energy burst out from his body, and Zhang Chen laughed out loud. The sound hits the ears. The monks swallowed their saliva first, and then shuddered subconsciously. They exclaimed in their hearts at the same time. This person is terrifying. You can actually become stronger by bullying others. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 257. After a while, Xuanhuan climbed up from the lake and sat cross-legged on the shore. Frowning and thinking. He felt that Zhang Chen's kick just now should be the same as the ancient sword, and there should be some deep meaning. If he could understand it, maybe his cultivation could be further improved. But after thinking about it, he still couldn't figure it out. Sci-fi, who was standing by, saw this and was about to say something, but saw Zhang Chen walking towards him with a smile. "Monk, what's your name?" Zhang Chen asked. Glancing at Xuanhuan and Yuan Cheng, who were wet beside him, Sci-fi thought of his own consequences. He chose to remain silent. He didn't answer at all. "Bald donkey, how dare you ignore me?" Great and mighty dragon, Zhang Chen suddenly attacked. Instantly, the Dharma was overwhelmed, and the golden dragon suddenly appeared. Before Sci-fi could react, he was hit in the heart by the golden dragon, spit out a mouthful of dirty blood and fell into the lake. Zhang Chen waited for a moment. Seeing that the system's prompt text never appeared, he had to kick Xuanhuan again. Xuanhuan was still in deep thought at this moment. Before he could react to what happened, he fell into the lake again, splashing a lot of water. The system's prompt text still did not appear. Zhang Chen frowned and focused his attention on the other Tianxiao. You don't come over," a cultivator looked at him and shouted in a trembling voice. Zhang Chen turned a deaf ear and walked forward with an evil smile. Suddenly, Sci-fi and Xuanhuan jumped out of the lake at the same time. Xuanhuan's face was as gloomy as water. He noticed Zhang Chen's full of malice, and the gratitude in his heart disappeared immediately. Sci-fi had turned into a golden body state, and he raised his arms and shouted, "Zhang Chen is bullying too much. He must want to suppress us and take the treasure in the lake alone. Interests unite people." These words were heard. The Tianjiao were indeed shocked, and they all cast unfriendly eyes at Zhang Chen. They admitted it. Judging from Zhang Chen's performance, one person is not enough to compete, but there are more than a dozen geniuses here. If they come together, even if Zhang Chen has great ability, he will be suppressed. "Zhang Chen, if you leave now, I will pretend that nothing happened," Xuanhuan said with a sullen face. In response, Zhang Chen just smiled faintly. Sensing that he had caused public anger, Zhang Hu gently advised, "Big brother, the 9 Peaks Master and Old Chen are not here, and the 5th senior sister is in a bad condition. Should we keep a low profile?" "Low profile?" Zhang Chen sneered. "Can keeping a low profile earn system rewards?" Can keeping a low profile avoid being slapped in the face? No. Since he can't, he naturally has to be high profile. And the higher the better. Of course, he is not stupid. Many geniuses come together, which will indeed pose a certain threat to him. But this threat can be almost ignored. Because he has obtained 3 drops of phoenix blood and can become a congenital phoenix body at any time. Haha. Today, I will suppress you so-called geniuses, and you dare not raise your heads. Zhang Chen laughed. As soon as these words came out, all the Tianjiaos were pale, gnashing their teeth, and shouted. Arrogant! Arrogant! If we attack at the same time, even the cultivators of the upper 4 realms will have to retreat. Zhang Chen, today is your death. Leave quickly now, or you may survive. Not wanting to argue, Zhang Chen turned his right hand, and 3 drops of suspended blood appeared on it. The blood was as red as fire, and the red light was reflected all around. The Tianjiaos felt like they were in the flames at a glance, and they sweated profusely in an instant. The eyesight of the crowd was limited, and they didn't know what this was, but they also understood that this should be Zhang Chen's trump card. Everyone come together. Don't hold back. Sci-fi shouted loudly. After that, his golden body grew stronger, and after soaring into the air, his huge golden palm immediately slapped Zhang Chen's head. Knowing that Zhang Chen had learned the treasured sutra of the Buddha temple, Cin did not use any Buddhist secrets, but wanted to suppress Zhang Chen with his own strength. Brother Sci-fi, I'll help you, Jianlu hurriedly followed. He opened the sword box, holding the ancient sword, and slashed 3 swords in a row. The 3 swords turned into qi, and the sword qi condensed into intention. The sword intention swept wildly, and the strong wind caused by it cut around like a knife, which was not only fatal, but also blocked Zhang Chen's way. Seeing the 2 people taking action, the other Tianjiao no longer hesitated, holding spiritual weapons and attacking from all directions. Seeing this, Zhang Lianyu and Zhang Hu prepared to help. But before the 2 could act, they saw Zhang Chen slap 3 blood essences into his forehead. The next second, cry! The phoenix suddenly appeared, and the phoenix fire was added. Countless phoenix fires burst out from Zhang Chen's body and condensed into a fiery red bird in the air. This bird has a beak like a chicken, a jaw like a swallow, and red feathers glowing with 5 colors. Its wingspan is several feet, and a pair of bird eyes overlooking the sky, showing its majesty. At this time, the compassionate method happened to attack. His golden palm was burned by the phoenix fire before it touched Zhang Chen. If he hadn't cut off his arm, he would have been burned by the phoenix fire and burned into black ash. And the 3 sword energies that Jianlu slashed quickly could not resist the scorching heat at all, and they disintegrated in an instant. Phoenix bird phantom. This Zhang Chen is actually a congenital male phoenix body, Jianlu exclaimed immediately. So it seems that the 3 drops of blood essence just now are probably the blood essence of the male phoenix. After retreating several feet away, Cin covered his broken arm with his left hand and said, "The blood of the male phoenix is a treasure far beyond the 9th rank. This item is extremely rare even in the upper domain. But I didn't expect that Zhang Chen actually had 3 drops. And the phoenix fire is the heavenly fire, touching it will burn you. It is no exaggeration. Holding this heavenly fire, plus Zhang Chen's various skills and spiritual tools, everyone is confident. Not to mention the Xuanhuan realm cultivators, even if they have just entered the upper 4 realms, Zhang Chen has the strength to fight. In other words, a person who can cross the chasm and fight the upper 4 realms with Xuanhuan is right in front of them. And even if the upper 4 realms cultivators enter, their cultivation will be suppressed in the Xianbing secret realm of the Xuanhuan realm. Zhang Chen is an invincible existence. After being shocked, the Tianjiao looked at each other. At the same time, a thought emerged in their minds. Escape. Escape with all your strength. Otherwise, if Zhang Chen has a murderous intention today, none of them can escape. The thought fell. Xuanhuan and Sci-fi took the lead and fled in different directions. The other cultivators also rushed to flee in a hurry. But they had just run a short distance when they saw the male phoenix formed by the phoenix fire spread its wings and soared. The next second, the raging phoenix fire fell from the sky, trapping everyone in it in a circle. Jianlu wanted to fly his sword and escape from above, but he remembered that Zhang Chen could also fly his sword, and his speed was not as fast as the soaring male phoenix, so he finally stopped. Zhang Chen, do you really want to kill them all? Jianlu asked loudly. Kill them all? Zhang Chen sneered. When the Tianjiao attacked him just now, they all had a strong killing intention. Those who kill will be killed. Those who want to kill the villain must be prepared to be killed by the villain. But, I said, today I will suppress you so much that you can't raise your head. Kneel down and beg for mercy, and you can save your life. Flying the sword, Zhang Chen looked down. Hearing this, the Tianjiao clenched their fists. You are dreaming, Monk Safa blurted out. Then, he was devoured by the raging phoenix fire and turned into black ash and dissipated. What about you? Zhang Chen looked at the others again. The Tianjiao were silent. After a long time. Perhaps it was because he had already knelt once, or perhaps it was because he was unwilling to die like this. After a struggle between heaven and man in his heart, Jianlu was the first to kneel. With him taking the lead, the other Tianjiaos also gritted their teeth and knelt down one after another. Ha ha, Zhang Chen laughed loudly. The laughter was heard. Although the Tianjiaos clenched their fists, they felt extremely humiliated. But no one dared to raise their heads. Behavior is in line with the villain setting, reward Nangong Juxi with a belly band. Zhang Chen. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 258. Inexplicably, what is Nangong Juxi's belly band for? Zhang Chen felt that the system wanted to cause trouble. He secretly reminded himself that he must be careful. After 9 reincarnations, he finally allowed Nangong Juxi to avoid death. Nothing could go wrong in this life. At this time, the geniuses were still kneeling on the ground, and the surroundings were in chaos. Affected by the phoenix fire, the ice fields within a radius of several miles have melted, and the lake has completely dried up due to the high temperature of the phoenix fire. But the small island in the lake is still green, and the red flames in the crystal stones on it are beating more dazzlingly. Phoenix fire is heavenly fire. It can still exist under the raging sky fire and protect the entire island. This proves the innate spiritual fire in that crystal stone is at least the 7th grade, a genius exclaimed. After hearing these words, the other geniuses were shocked. That is the 7th grade spiritual fire. If it is refined, it will undoubtedly greatly enhance its own combat power. If you take it to the alchemy pagoda to exchange for elixirs, what you get is tantamount to a great fortune. Just thinking about it makes the geniuses ready to act again. But after glancing at Zhang Chen, everyone understood and gave up. The situation just now has proved that even if they are tied together, they are no match for Zhang Chen. Although the 7th grade spiritual fire is good, you must have the strength to fight for it. Why? Jian Liu sighed. He cursed secretly. It would be great if his senior brother Sushan was here. Sushan may not be as good as Zhang Chen in swordsmanship talent, and his combat prowess is also slightly inferior. But Sushan is a sword cultivator at the peak of Tianyuan. And the sword is great. Zhang Chen has combat power that can cross the chasm of heaven, and he is truly invincible in this secret realm. But this is a one-on-one fight, not a group fight. Sushan is famous throughout the central region and has a very high reputation among the geniuses. If he is led by him, the geniuses will not be as aggrieved as this time if they fight Zhang Chen again. Have no choice. After entering the mysterious realm of Xianbing, Sushan, and Cin, the number 1 Buddhist disciple of the Buddha temple, pursued and killed Nangang Juxi of the Wandao demon sect. Jianlu doesn't know where he is at this moment. Thinking of Nangang Juxi, Jianliu looked solemn again. This woman ranks third on the list of geniuses, and she has a rare Xianming demon body. There is no doubt about his fighting prowess, and his cruelty even more. It has only been a few hours since the secret realm was opened, but already several righteous geniuses have died in her hands. Here. Since Nangang Juxi entered the secret realm, she has been asking around for news about Zhang Chen. Jianliu didn't know why this woman got involved with Zhang Chen. But he was sure. If this Jurchen and Zhang Chen meet and unite, with their minds and methods, the righteous geniuses who enter the secret realm this time will most likely be destroyed. The devil is rampant and the righteous path is weak, so what can be done? Thinking of this, Jianlu was heartbroken. And now everyone is convinced. Zhang Chen's purpose in defeating all the geniuses was for the spiritual fire time in the lake. Zhang Chen didn't even look at the shining red spiritual fire. Instead, he stared at the spiritual rabbit on the island with a weird smile. Elder brother, what are you looking at those spiritual rabbits for? Zhang Hu was puzzled. While speaking, he looked at the spiritual rabbits in the island. I saw a lot of spiritual rabbits, hundreds of them. Except for the strange red eyes, there was nothing strange about the long downy ears and snow-like hair. Not only is there no difference, there is something. Quite cute, Zhang Hu commented. Cute. Zhang Chen rolled his eyes. Zhang Lianyu also shook her head slightly when she heard this. Zhang Hu was puzzled and asked, Senior brother, aren't you interested in that spiritual fire? That is the 7th grade innate spiritual fire. Before he finished speaking, he suddenly stopped. Because while he was speaking, the spiritual rabbits on the island actually crossed over from the island to the dry lake bed, gathered together, and ran towards Zhang Chen and the other geniuses. It takes less than a moment. A huge spiritual rabbit came to Zhang Chen. Before the spirit rabbit could do anything, Zhang Chen's eyes turned cold, and he raised his sword and dropped it in an instant. In a flash of sword light, the spirit rabbit was cut in half. Blood sprayed all around. Seeing this, Zhang Hu was stunned. All the geniuses had a look of disdain on their faces and secretly said, Evil people are evil people. Regardless of whether he is a monk or a spiritual rabbit, his life is like a piece of grass in Zhang Chen's eyes. Zhang Chen had no intention of explaining this. He stood with his sword behind his back, quietly waiting for something. Sudden. As if smelling the smell of blood in the air, the lark rabbit stopped inexplicably. They began to show their teeth, their white hairs stood up, and they laughed strangely. Then, with the red glow in their eyes, these spiritual rabbits stood up and began to grow in size. In just a moment, they turned into hundreds of giant men that were several feet tall. Yes, he is a giant man. They stood like humans, laughed strangely, and started rubbing their hands together. The thick muscles and burly body give people a strong sense of oppression. What's even more terrifying is, it can be judged from the auras they emit that these hundreds of giant Han spirit rabbits are all giant monsters comparable to Tianyuan cultivators. While everyone was stunned, a spiritual rabbit with bulging chest muscles came to Zhang Hu with a condescending gaze. It clenched its fists and opened its bloody mouth. The extremely viscous saliva flowed down the sharp teeth and just dripped on Zhang Hu's cheek. Goo. After swallowing hard, Zhang Hu was stunned. It's quite cute when it looks at you now, Zhang Chen took the opportunity to joke. Zhang Hu almost cried. Who would have thought? The seemingly harmless spiritual rabbits can not only hide their aura, but also transform. Today's Zhang Hu is just a Earth UN cultivator. He had no doubt. Not to mention a group of giant rabbits, just one of them can knock him to the ground, hammer him, and then eat him alive. Senior brother, save me. He chose to ask Zhang Chen for help. Zhang Chen was still very friendly to his younger brother, and immediately replied, "Come on, junior brother, senior brother supports you. The spirit rabbit is so cute, you should get close to it. Say it." Zhang Chen took Zhang Lianyu up into the air with his sword, and kept cheering Zhang Hu up at a height of several feet. This time, Zhang Hu really wanted to cry. At the same time, the giant Han Lingtu suddenly stepped forward and strangled Zhang Hu's neck with a strong move. Then, he bit Zhang Hu on the shoulder. Ah! The intense pain made Zhang Hu scream. He thought he was going to be cold. But found out. Squeak! The giant Han Ling rabbit actually screamed the same way, and even more pitifully. In just half an hour, Lingtu was foaming at the mouth, kicking his limbs wildly, and fell to the ground dead. It never sleeps in peace. Before he died, he was still pointing at Zhang Hu and making strange noises from his mouth. It seems to be saying, "This person is poisonous." This made Zhang Hu a little confused. After reacting, he danced excitedly and shouted to Zhang Chen from high in the sky, "Elder brother. Acquired poisonous body. I have become an acquired poisonous body." What answered him was still Zhang Chen's cheering sound. Zhang Hu was no longer afraid and his confidence increased greatly. Looking at the geniuses who were being chased by the spirit rabbits and running away in panic, he felt that this was his highlight moment. "You, come here and bite me." Zhang Hu pointed at a spiritual rabbit and curled his fingers. The spirit rabbit was stunned. Glancing at the poisoned companion, it actually pooh! Spit on the ground. Then he walked away with a look of disgust. This moment, Zhang Hu felt as if he was abandoned. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 259. After a few minutes, there was chaos below, and the Tianjiao fled in panic. Zhang Hu grabbed the rabbit and insisted that it bite him. The rabbit was furious and slapped him twice. Zhang Chen was thinking about it as he looked at the giant rabbits. He knew very well that these rabbits were called bloodthirsty rabbits. In a calm state, the rabbits would hide their breath, but if human monks appeared or smelled blood, they would become what they are now. He did not leave at this moment because he was waiting. Waiting for Lin Feng to come. 9 reincarnations. In each life, as long as he entered the secret realm, Lin Feng would come later. Although the plot collapsed in this life, but Zhang Chen guessed that Lin Feng would still come. After all, there are many natural treasures in this Xianbing secret realm, which are prepared for the Son of Destiny. For example, the innate spiritual fire in the huge crystal stone on the island in the lake. This fire is called Xianbing crystal fire, and it is indeed a 7th grade spiritual fire. The plot in the original work. Although Lin Feng did not join Dangu Pagoda, he still knew how to make pills because old man Tianji had also dabbled in the alchemy. And this Xianbing crystal fire helped him become a 7th grade alchemist. Alchemists have extraordinary status, and 7th grade alchemists are rare in the central region. Therefore, after Lin Feng became a 7th grade alchemist, he was not only more valued by Juyan sect, but also famous in the central region. Brother, don't you want to take the 7th grade spiritual fire? Zhang Lianyu suddenly asked on the side. Zhang Chen shook his head. He already had a heavenly fire like Feng Guo, so he naturally looked down on the 7th grade spiritual fire. Moreover, he saw Lin Feng being abused everywhere with his own eyes, and now the plot has completely collapsed, so he had to consider a question. In this life, does Lin Feng, the Son of Destiny, have the strength to kill him in the finale? First, Now there are more and more crazy people, and they all want to attack Lin Feng. Don't be afraid of 10,000, just be afraid of one. What if in this life, Lin Feng, the son of destiny, is really deprived of his destiny by a group of lunatics and loses his life? Secondly, even if Zhang Chen is determined to run into Lin Feng's knife in the finale. But at that time, if Lin Feng is abused by him too much and runs away when he sees him, what should he do? Although these possibilities are not high, they still exist. For his own ascension, Zhang Chen has to be more cautious. Of course, Lin Feng still has to be abused. If he doesn't abuse him, where can he vent his resentment? But while abusing Lin Feng, he also needs to let him grow smoothly, so that he has the courage to face himself in the finale. And to do this, it is necessary to ensure that the opportunities that originally belonged to Lin Feng will not fall into the hands of others. Zhang Chen suddenly felt very tired. For his own ascension, he was worried about it. Not only do he have to guard against a bunch of lunatics, but he also has to take care of Lin Feng, the young, pitiful and helpless son of destiny. Fortunately, the rewards from the system are as powerful as ever. He doesn't have to worry that Lin Feng's rise will exceed his own, thus repeating the plot of the previous 9 lives. Just as Zhang Chen was secretly sighing, the chaos below was in a mess. Suddenly, a monk who was shrinking his head and wearing only shorts came into Zhang Chen's sight. Lin Feng. Zhang Chen's pupils shrank. Although the monk had a shallow golden body and a shiny head, he still recognized him at a glance. The reason is simple. In addition to his own extreme familiarity with Lin Feng, it was also because of the strong disgust. As for the 9 reincarnations, Zhang Chen knew it very well. Only Lin Feng would make him feel this disgust, like a mortal enemy. He didn't understand what Lin Feng was doing with this outfit, but he felt a biting cold behind him. He turned around suddenly. Zhang Lianyu's face was as cold as frost, her eyes were full of hostility, and the coldness condensed by the technique actually overshadowed the temperature around her. When the killing intent and coldness reached a peak, she could no longer restrain herself. She jumped out with a sword, wanting to kill Lin Feng. But she was pulled back by Zhang Chen again. "Do you want to die?" Zhang Chen roared. The loud voice and the almost angry roar scared Zhang Lianyu. She clenched her teeth and her face was as pale as paper. She wanted to say something, but in the end she could only bury her head like a child who had made a mistake. Now the cold poison in your body is on the verge of an outbreak. Only by using all your cultivation can you barely suppress it. If you fight with others at this moment, you will explode and die in an instant, Zhang Chen roared again. Hearing this, Zhang Lianyu suddenly raised her head. Instantly, tears welled up in her eyes. She thought. Zhang Chen yelled at her because he didn't want her to attack Lin Feng. Only now did she understand. It turned out that Zhang Chen was worried about her. Take a closer look, Lin Feng is now in the late Tianyuan stage. Not to mention your current state, even if you were in your prime, you wouldn't be his opponent, Zhang Chen said again. Hearing this, Zhang Lianyu indeed cast a probing gaze towards Lin Feng. She frowned immediately after seeing this. The last time she attacked Lin Feng was on the eve of Lin Feng's apprenticeship to Juyan sect. At that time, Lin Feng was just a human Yuan cultivator. But now, he has jumped to the late Tianyuan stage. In terms of cultivation, he even surpassed her. As Zhang Chen said, Lin Feng's combat power was already very strong, and now his cultivation has caught up, so she is indeed no longer his opponent. If she really attacked just now, it would only harm her life. The son of destiny is really not that easy to kill. Zhang Lianyu frowned and thought to herself. Not knowing what she was thinking, Zhang Chen slowed down his tone like he was coaxing a child. Fifth junior sister, I also dislike the son of destiny, but destiny cannot be violated, and everything needs to be considered in the long term. In my opinion, it will take at least 100 years to deploy. Elder brother is right. After pondering for a moment, Zhang Lianyu nodded with tears in her eyes. Although she is crazy, she is not stupid. She, Xuanhuan and others can actually see it. In this life, Zhang Chen doesn't want Lin Feng to die. I don't know why, but that's the fact. Regarding Zhang Chen's other wishes, the girls will choose to fulfill them even if they die. But this alone doesn't work. Because they have seen the 9-life retrospective and know it very clearly. If Lin Feng doesn't die, then Zhang Chen will die. Therefore, no matter how Zhang Chen stopped him or opposed him, the girls were still trying their best to help Zhang Chen get rid of his destiny in their own way. This is also the only way they can atone for their sins. The girls couldn't explain these things to Zhang Chen. All that can be done. The only thing they can do is not show it off in front of Zhang Chen and cooperate when Zhang Chen fools them. I don't know what Zhang Lianyu was thinking, but Zhang Chen thought that he had stabilized another lunatic, and couldn't help but smile with satisfaction. But why didn't I notice before that Lin Feng has a hobby of wearing only one pair of underpants, he wondered again. Elder brother, don't look at it, it will stain your eyes, Zhang Lianyu reminded. Well, it is indeed a bit eye-catching. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 260. At the same time, Lin Feng was panicking. He was just about to sneak to the island in the lake while the Tianjiao were fighting the spirit rabbits, and then collect the spirit fire in the crystal stone. To put it bluntly, it was picking peaches. Diamond sued. He was just wandering around in this secret realm, and he encountered the 7th grade spirit fire. The spirit rabbits who happened to be guarding the spirit fire were attracted by the other Tianjiao. Isn't this the opportunity prepared for him? Now he is a 6th grade alchemist. If he can obtain this 7th grade spirit fire, he will definitely be more valued by Danggu Tower. From now on, he will be famous in the central region. Just thinking about it, Lin Feng was excited. But he just took a step. Be careful. Zhang Chen is up there, the old man Tianji shouted suddenly. This made Lin Feng jump up in shock, and then quickly shrank back. He looked up. Sure enough, he saw Zhang Chen flying in the air with a sword. Lin Feng was instantly scared. He thought his progress was fast enough, but who would have thought? Zhang Chen has already mastered the sword. What made him feel even more like a formidable enemy was Zhang Lianyu behind Zhang Chen. All the previous proofs. Zhang Chen just wanted to abuse him, but Zhang Lianyu really wanted to kill him, and she wanted to pin him to death in the toilet. For a moment, he panicked even more and considered whether to run away first. But on second thought, he felt something was wrong. Why panic? Why be cowardly? He just checked the cultivation of Zhang Lianyu and Zhang Chen and found that both of them were only in the middle stage of Tianyuan. And now he has entered the Dao by killing. Not only has he mastered the sword, but his cultivation is also in the late stage of Tianyuan. He is already ahead in cultivation, right? In addition, he already has the ability to fight across levels. It is no exaggeration to say. At this moment, even a cultivator who has just entered the upper 4 realms dares to touch him. No matter how strong Zhang Chen is, can he be stronger than a cultivator who has just entered the upper 4 realms? No matter how crazy Zhang Lianyu is, what can she do to him in the face of absolute strength? He. Thinking of this, Lin Feng folded his hands and snorted coldly, and his confidence increased immediately. With your current strength, Zhang Lianyu is indeed not to be feared, but that Zhang Chen. The old man Tianji suddenly said solemnly. How about Zhang Chen? Lin Feng asked. Zhang Chen can fly with a sword, which proves that his swordsmanship has been perfected. More importantly, I felt the breath of phoenix fire from him. The raging flames just now should be released by him, the old man Tianji explained. Phoenix fire. Lin Feng was shocked. The reason why he came here was that he was attracted by the raging flames just now, thinking that some kind of natural treasure appeared in the world. Only at this time did he understand that it was Phoenix fire. Phoenix fire is a heavenly fire, which will burn you if you touch it, and its power is enough to cross the realm of the natural chasm. In other words, the current Zhang Chen is really stronger than the cultivator who has just entered the upper four realms. In an instant, Lin Feng panicked again and considered whether to escape again. He just couldn't understand. How come Zhang Chen, a stepping stone, grew faster than him? Who is the son of destiny? Why are you panicking? Seeing that Lin Feng really wanted to escape, the old man Tianji cursed, look at your useless appearance. Run away when you see Zhang Chen? If you keep going like this, you will have a demon in your heart sooner or later. Lin Feng didn't like to hear this. What do you mean run away when you see Zhang Chen? Is he willing to run? If he doesn't run, will Zhang Chen abuse him again? Do you really think he is a masochist? And every time the old man Tianji gets on his body and beats someone, he is very active. But when he is beaten at the critical moment, he hides again. It's easy to talk without any pain in the waist. By the way, in this secret realm, can you get on my body? Lin Feng suddenly remembered this and asked. Yes, the old man Tianji replied in seconds. Before Lin Feng could get excited, he heard old man Tianji say, but it's useless. Your cultivation and strength will still be suppressed by the natural formation of this secret realm, and you can't exceed the Yuandan realm. Lin Feng was speechless. Then what's the point of saying this? Zhang Chen glanced at you just now, but didn't move. I guess he didn't recognize you, old man Tianji said again. Hearing this, Lin Feng's eyes lit up immediately. If that's the case, then he doesn't have to run away. The son of destiny is only wearing a pair of shorts and has become a monk. It's really hard for others to recognize him, old man Tianji added. Lin Feng didn't like to hear this again. It was old man Tianji who made him like this, and now it's still this old man who mocks him. Sure enough. This old man is very bad. In fact, there are still many clothes that can be replaced in Lin Feng's spiritual ring. But helpless. These clothes all have the logo of Deng Gyuda, and he doesn't want others to recognize his identity. After all, he was the only disciple of the Deng Gyuda who could enter the secret realm this time. The rest were devoured by ghosts. Originally, Lin Feng planned to find a random cultivator after entering the secret realm, strip him of his clothes and put them on. But before he could act, he saw the flames raging here, so he was still wearing only a pair of shorts. Zhang Chen already has the Phoenix fire, so he should not be interested in the 7th grade spiritual fire. I will teach you a method to conceal your breath, and you should be able to successfully enter the island in the lake and refine the spiritual fire, the old man Tianji suggested. The method to conceal your breath, Lin Feng blinked. Well, this is an ancient method that has long been lost, and I am the only one in the world who knows it. This method is called ancient turtle breathing technique. After practicing this method, unless there is a cultivator who is one level higher than you, it will definitely not be detected, the old man Tianji said. Lin Feng's face darkened instantly. The preciousness of the ancient method is self-evident. The method that can conceal the breath is even rarer. At this moment, he only wanted to say one sentence, since there is such a wonderful method, why didn't you say it earlier? If he had learned such a wonderful method earlier, would he be chased and abused by Zhang Chen, chased and killed by lunatics like Zhang Lianyu? Your cultivation was not enough before, and I didn't expect. The old man Tianji was hesitant to speak. What did you not expect? I didn't expect that you, the son of destiny, would be so miserable. Lin Feng was speechless. The old man Tianji really made him love and hate. This old man never left him, which touched him. But the person who often poured cold water on him and mocked him was also this old man Tianji. Too lazy to argue with the old man Tianji, he asked to learn as soon as possible. The old man Tianji did not hesitate, and immediately taught the ancient turtle-breathing Jew by the way of spiritual transmission. This technique is not difficult to practice. Lin Feng only spent a few minutes to master it. After slowly exhaling a breath of turbid air, Lin Feng practiced the ancient turtle-breathing technique, used the surrounding debris as a cover, and tiptoed towards the island in the lake. He glanced at Zhang Chen in the sky. He kept repeating in his heart, "You can't see me, you can't see me." Then, "Big brother, Lin Feng's movements are like a monkey. Hush, be quiet. Let's pretend we can't see him and save some face for the son of destiny." "Oh, but he really looks like a monkey. Not only like a monkey, but also like a monkey that fell into a cesspool and was covered in gold." "Big brother, you are so talented. This metaphor is simply amazing. Ahem, keep a low profile, keep a low profile." The whispers from the sky made Lin Feng want to curse. "Old man Tianji, you must give me a reasonable explanation for this matter," he shouted in his heart. "I overlooked one thing." After a long pause, the old man Tianji finally replied. "What? Zhang Chen and Zhang Lianyu are in the sky. Even if they can't detect your breath, they can see you with their naked eyes." At this moment, Lin Feng wanted to strangle the old man Tianji to death.